Welcome back, MTG Joe here, and today we're going to be doing another weekly breakdown of the meta for Alchemy, both best of one and traditional best of three. If you are looking for the standard or historic version of this week's meta breakdown, I'm separating them between videos. You can check them out in the playlist. I have them each listed. They'll all be coming out around the same time. And basically all the data that we get every other week is coming from Untapped GG, which is a companion tool that runs alongside your Arena client, tracks your games, wins, losses, your collections, gives you suggestions for decks you can build, and most importantly, it's free to use. So if you're not using it already, highly suggest doing so. The link is in the video description down below. It just really helps kind of show you a lot of useful stats. And honestly, it helps contribute to this metadata. So you're part of the system to help kind of bring out and have more tangible data sets. Which is great for just understanding what's working, what's not, and kind of having a collective testing pool with others. So for Alchemy, we're looking at the week of December 27th to January 3rd, and we are looking from Platinum to Mythic rank, where we have a total of 62,000 games played in the week. I will probably do a video comparing Alchemy's popularity to the other formats on Arena, so stay tuned for that. But kind of off the bat, it's a wild one, and this is from Mojo Jojo, another streamer. He got up to, I believe, number 1 or 2 Mythic with this. Really good run. It's an Is It Mill deck, and it's really just kind of a copy. So Galvanic Iteration, Dual Strike, copy your Tasha's Hideous Laughter or Maddening Cacophony, and look to mill out your opponent with Rune Crabs. This is a deck that will get people to rage quit because they have PTSD of rogues they hate to turn one crab into the eventual Evolving Wilds mill you out. So the list is 65% win rate at 90 games played. For the week, we see kind of the dragon portion of our format. Really, there's just kind of variations on this. Basically, you have 2 mana accelerants in Fearsome Whelp to reduce your cost. You have Dragon Orb in the Rakdos version. You also have Kalayan. And then you are kind of going into an early Town Razor Tyrant to tax or kind of make your opponent's lands painful or destroy the lands. You have card advantage in Moonveil Regent. And then you have your top end of Nerfed Goldspan in Inferno. The mono red version has a bit more burn package. So you have Frostbites and Dragon's Fire. You also have Chandra for some card advantage. The Rakdos version is playing some copies of Immerstrom and Olivia as a reanimation spell. Not as much removal in this particular one. And we're seeing a slight preference to the mono red version just in terms of win rates between the particular versions. We're at the clerics portion of the game. And really kind of the differentiation here is between the Orzhov and the Esper. Esper is really Esper, the blue splash, just for the Glasspool Mimic. And the reason this card is being played, when you have Inquisitor Captain, you can fetch up potentially a Glasspool Mimic, which copies the Inquisitor Captain. That gets you another, kind of chaining together extra copies. So it's a Splinter Twin of 4 times. It's also just in a pinch if you want to copy your Righteous Valkyrie, get more of an Anthem going, stuff like that. The decks play Aura as a way to have recursive elements. You have your kind of scalable Johnny's Pridemate and Voice of the Blessed. This version here is playing Pyre as a hero to tutor stuff up. This version is just looking creature-based. This one's a little bit more grindy, I would say. This version, you kind of lack the card advantage, but this version looks to be performing a little bit better. Just another Dragons, another party. Gruul Werewolves, this one's been one that's been going around. This isn't the exact list. It's this version that's been going around this week. Is this with the... Nope. So there's basically a version. I'm going to find it after this. I'll show you. It's won a couple tournaments, I think, or placed pretty high. It's Gruul Werewolves with Halana and then Town Razor Tyrant. So kind of a mid-rangey Gruul stompy style list that's been putting up some results. I'll find that list. But kind of the Werewolves package, you have Fearsome Whelp, Rahilda, and then you kind of just go into your top end. You also have the Lupine Harbingers, the Smack Face, Tovlar for card advantage. There's a couple variations of the Gruul Werewolves. Blood Rage Alpha, these versions don't seem to be doing too well. I'll get to the blue-white control deck in a sec. the Nine Werewolves deck, this was when Croakies was playing. I'm actually like 5 or 6-0 with this deck. But it seems it's like not doing well for others. The Inquisitor Captain kept me in games I had no business being in, and just having the additional like exile at a Brutal Cathar was pretty nice. The mana is a lot worse though, getting just tap lines. I tweaked the mana base a bit when I was playing. And then finally, Blue-White Control, Blue-White Boredom. This is a key to the Archive deck, so tutor up like a bunch of removal or just annoying control cards. And then this particular version's with Teferi, you can untap it. This version doesn't have the card that allows you to shuffle your library. A lot of lists are playing that, just so you don't deck yourself out, and you could just kind of continually, perpetually reduce the mana cost of your spells. Lear with a Professor Symbology in this particular list. I think there's probably more refined ways, but kind of the shells here. Really just hates on creature decks, Divine Purge, and the Doom Scars in this list. So you have that. Like I was saying, let me pop up real quick to my profile with the Wolves deck, 5-0. And yeah, I just switched the mana base a bit. I found I needed the duels more, so I switched with that. We were playing in High Mythic last month when I was trying to just rank into top 1200 for the end of the month. But it's pretty good. Like, we bet the Dragons deck. I think opponent disconnected there. Bet Clerics and bet Mono Green with the list. Best of 3. This is kind of where it gets in. So best of 3, I had to go down to gold to get enough of a kind of population, and we still only get 24,000 games. And then we're also looking from December 9th versus December 27th. So honestly, like, best of 3 Alchemy does not seem that popular. Best of 1, the numbers are probably in par. Oops. A little bit lower than standard, but still, like, I had to really kind of pull to get some information. So we have the Mono Red Dragons list. The sideboard gives you Burning Hands, just some kind of removal options. And then if you want to slant to be more aggressive, that's an option as well. I'd probably play some Roiling Vortex, to be honest. Just having some answers against the life gain decks might seem good. And those seem better than versus control than just kind of filling in more 1-drops. I don't know why you'd play Falcon Wrath Pit Fighter. Seems kind of bad. Yeah, like this sideboard looks a lot better. Rahilda's a threat on its own, just letting you slot down. You can steal cards from your opponent's library. Yeah, this version of the sideboard looks a lot tighter. You have Mono Green, a Grizzled Huntmaster to kind of have a tutor board in your sideboard just for some threats. And then you also have like the Alpine Harbingers. So this version hits hard. The haste out of nowhere is really good in this deck, especially if you have like a Rangers class going. Interesting, they're not really maximizing the amount of accelerants like turn 2, turn 3. And they're opting to go with more of the Lupine Harbingers over the Oddities. I think personally I'd probably switch these. These being, it's very seldom that you're going to foretell this, and it comes down on turn 6. Whereas this comes down on turn 4, and then it's a mana sink afterwards. It just makes your other threats so much better. I'd probably personally swap those out if it was me. See Mono Dragons. Oh, so this is the Gruul's Werewolves list. So this is the one that was played at the tournament. So we have the Town Razor Tyrants. We have the Lupine Harbingers. Kind of just more of an aggressive Gruul list that happens to also have a werewolf synergy. I think the Town Razor Tyrant, just a 4/4 for 4 flying is good. That also taxes your opponent's lands in ways. Seems really good. The Vortex is good against the life gain or control decks. Gets around like Divine Purge, stuff like that. You have some removal and other options in that list. And then just like everybody and their mother has a Dragons deck. Sample size is pretty low in these for best of 3, so we don't even get win rates. But it's like Dragons, Werewolves, just tons of Dragons. Kind of coming here, we get the Mono Black Sacrifice list, which really seemed to have fallen off. Kind of going down. Mono Red Aggro. It's an interesting list. Electrostatic. Just the Blast. Just kind of being kind of a Burny package. That'd actually be interesting to try out. Maybe play some Mana Form Hellkites in there. This card's really good. if you can get it out early. The problem is there's not really like clean ways to get this out early. I kept drafting this one recently. But yeah, it's pretty much it for like Alchemy. I'd say like the format, like this is Zanzaid's list. He got #1 Mythic with and held it last month. It's kind of a mix of the black-white sacrifice deck, or the mono-black sacrifice deck, but you get the additive like Wedding Announcement as well as Rite of Oblivion, sack like blood tokens to have exile-based removal, kind of getting on that angle. He did very well with this particular list. Yeah, they're just classifying it in different ways. Whereas of control. So people have been doing like a bunch of like minor variations along the way. We're seeing like some Vamps lists, the Azorius control decks, which not a huge population, but they are annoying as hell to play against. What's that card called? I haven't been playing too much Alchemy. Like Discover the Formula is a beast, but the one that shuffles, I can't find it now. It's the one that shuffles your library. Just like a lot of werewolves lists kind of coming through, but it's pretty much it for Alchemy. Where I'd probably say, I think if you're looking to play, honestly, Historic's been the most diverse to me at this point. Like if we're even looking, like I've been playing a lot of Historic Best of One. I've been enjoying that. But if we look at just, even with low data, we're still getting 62,000 games, 46 if we filter up. And it's just, there's a lot of linear decks in Best of One. Even if you want to go to Best of Three, there's still not as much, but still some diversity in it. But I'd say if you can afford it or have the wild cards, Historic's got a lot of kind of fun pet decks. I've done well with like random brews and stuff, but Alchemy Best of One probably seems to be the best kind of go at it right now. Anyways, appreciate everyone stopping by today. As always, if you do enjoy this type of content, want to know what the kind of trends are in the meta each week, make sure to subscribe. We usually have these posted every Monday. And we'll be back to doing daily gameplay across various formats as I kind of get settled. It just moved, so just settling in. I have boxes kind of piled all around me, so once we're kind of settled into routine, we'll get back with that as well. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and catch you next time.